Good morning. Kate here with this week's Monday mission, and this is mission 60. And so every 10 missions, I do a you asked, I answered kind of Q&A or talk about different topics that you had shared with me. So this one, I boiled it down to 4 different ones that I think will be really helpful for everyone. And some of them I kind of just combined into a similar topic. So we are going to talk about letting go of mistakes that you've made in the past, how to do that and what that might look like. Eating to avoid something, using eating as a way to avoid what you think you should be doing, right? But what we'll really talk about is how we do it to avoid feeling feelings. We're going to talk about self-discipline, and then we're going to talk about how to recover after you've had to deal with a narcissist or just someone in general, really, that broke trust or that didn't engage in a relationship in a healthy way, right? We'll talk about that. So that's what we're going to talk about for this week's mission. So I'm going to start with letting go of mistakes in the past, right? So really what this comes down to is forgiveness of yourself, right? And I think I might do a whole mission on forgiveness at some point. It's really something I've struggled with, just being someone that was, betrayed in my marriage. It's just been a very difficult topic for me, right? So, and I've heard all the things that forgiveness is actually for you, it's not for the other person. But for me, a belief or a story I have around forgiveness very much means that it's letting the other person off the hook, right? It's forgiving them. It's letting them go from what they did. And I guess I just hold on to this belief about accountability, right? They have to be held accountable for what they did. And I think we can do that to ourselves too, right? We can not forgive ourselves because then we think that we're letting us have a pass, right? And get away with something, right? So I finally was able to wrap my brain around forgiveness when I heard it defined like this. And I think it was on Glennon Doyle's podcast that I heard this. So this is recent that I even got to this point. And the definition of forgiveness that they were using in that episode is letting go of the idea that things will be different, right? So forgiveness is just letting go of the idea that things could or should be different. And I really related to this because prior to that, I was able to use the word release, right? Like I release the person of using my energy to be mad at them or hate them or whatever, right? They were not being punished by their mistake or what they need forgiveness for, right? I was punishing myself. So I ended up liking the word release better. I released myself of doing any of that. But this definition of forgiveness works in that way, right? We're letting go. I'm letting go that things should be different, that they should take accountability for what they did. Okay. And then you can apply that to yourself. It's letting go of the idea that you did something or that you could have done something differently or should have done something differently. Or if you just beat yourself up enough about it, that you'll get to a place where you're okay with the mistake that you made, right? But we can't change the past, right? As much as we want to, as much as we think punishing ourselves and beating ourselves up is repentance for this mistake that we've made, right? It just doesn't. It just creates suffering. It doesn't serve you. It's not productive, right? It doesn't make you grow. It doesn't help you evolve, right? So it doesn't serve you. So here are some questions to ask if you're finding yourself having difficulty forgiving yourself, but also if you're having difficulty forgiving someone else in your life. Asking yourself, why not forgive yourself? Or you could insert that, why not forgive them? How does it serve you to forgive yourself? How does it serve you to forgive them? How does it serve you to keep punishing yourself? It doesn't, by the way, right? But see what your brain offers you. How does it serve you to keep punishing them? Does it serve you? It'd be really difficult to find a way that it serves you. But asking yourself those questions and letting your brain go there and give it answers. And then something else I like to do is when I'm struggling with something or a thought like this, like forgiving myself for something I've done in the past, is to think about what your assumption is, right? So in order for you to be so upset at yourself that you can't give yourself forgiveness, you can't move past this, you can't let go of mistakes that you made in the past, your assumption would have to be that people can be perfect and not make mistakes. But we know that's not true, right? So that allows us to challenge the thought that I can't forgive myself for what I've done. Okay. So these are just some ways to offer your brain different avenues to come to a different thought that feels better than I can't forgive myself, or I'm just ruminating on this thing that I did and not letting go of it, right? So I hope that helps with forgiveness in yourself and others. It's the idea that we're letting go of the idea that things would be different. We're letting go of the hope or the thought that things would be different. All right, so the next one we're talking about is eating to avoid something, right? So you have a long to-do list and you find yourself in the pantry again. You are trying to get things done around the house, or you have work that you need to get done and you find yourself grabbing a snack in your desk, right? So kind of this mindless eating to avoid. And this is something, that I've done often. And usually what's happening is we are trying to avoid a feeling, a certain feeling, or just feeling our feelings, right? So I know for me, if I'm avoiding doing something at work, sometimes I can find myself avoiding to write a report. And it's because I'm just not quite sure what to say in the report yet. So I don't like that discomfort of not knowing, right? Of not having the answer or what I would recommend in the report. And so I can find myself absolutely trying to avoid that. And sometimes that is with snacking, right? Same with at home. If you're trying to avoid, just chores around the house, it could be anything. But a lot of times what's underneath is that we are avoiding feeling uncomfortable feelings. So what's going to help in this instance, and anytime you're kind of doing that mindless eating or just reaching for food when you don't even think that you're hungry, is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to learn to feel our feelings. Okay. And I know people just say this, feel your feelings, and people, you may be like, well, I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to give you a kind of a clear-cut way for how you can feel your feelings. And I want to mention Edith Eger. So she is a psychiatrist who survived Auschwitz, and she's written a book called The Gift, 12 Lessons to Save Your Life. It's a wonderful book, and in one of the lessons, she talks about feeling your feelings. And the way that she describes step-by-step how to do that is to just check in with yourself. Okay, now what I'll have my clients do is I will literally have them set timers on their phone. And when their timers go off, they check in with themselves. They check on their thoughts. They check on their feelings, right? They practice thoughts, right? Because we have to practice these things. We actually have to do them. So set your timer on your phone, or just think anytime I sit down to a meal, I'm going to do this, right? And you're going to do a body check-in. And you're just going to say, what am I feeling right now? Okay. You're going to ask, where do I feel it? Right? So get super curious about it. Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your back? Do you feel it in your head? Where do you feel this feeling? Okay. And describe it. Is it hot or cold? Is it loose? Is it tight? Sometimes I'll describe it as swirly. Like that's how I describe my anxiety. It's just like super swirly, right? Whatever comes to you, describe it in descriptive terms. So what does it look like? What color is it? How does it feel? Give it a name. Name it. Try to give a name to your feeling, okay? And this is with no judgment at all, right? You are just noticing that it's there, checking in with yourself. What's the feeling I'm having? I describe what it is, and then notice the feeling dissipate. Notice it go away. So you notice it come in when you describe it and go away, right? Just like a wave on a beach. It comes in and then it goes away, right? Just like we've talked about, a video I did early on was 90 seconds. It takes a feeling 90 seconds to go through your body. That is it. But yet we avoid it for days, months, even years. We avoid feeling feelings, even though their 90 seconds if we just allow them to go through. Okay, so that's how we can stop eating to avoid things, is really check in with ourselves. What am I trying, or what am I avoiding feeling? And we can do that by checking in with ourselves daily and feeling our feelings. And then if we feel like, I'm really pissed off at how that meeting went at work, right? This really made me frustrated. Describe it. What does it feel like? Where do you feel in your body? And then let it go. And then I'm not going to go and grab for the vending machine, or I'm not going to come home and grab for the cookies, right? Because I felt the frustration. I let it come through me. I felt it and I let it dissipate. So I don't need to avoid anything now. Okay, so try that and see how that works. All right. Then the next one is self-discipline. So self-discipline, the way I talk about it is basically it's just showing up for yourself more often than not, right? So whether that is with working out, whether that's with a new habit that you want to start, to have a morning routine, or to get up earlier, or not look at your phone before you fall asleep, whatever it is. But self-discipline, being disciplined to do something, is showing up for yourself more often than you don't, okay? Because you can't rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, and you might never know when it's coming again or when it's going to go again. So it's great when we have it, but we can't rely on it, right? So you want to be able to build up that discipline, and thinking about it in terms of it's not all or nothing, right? It's not if I work out every single day, then I'm self-disciplined. No, if you work out more often that week than you didn't, or more often than, you put out a goal for yourself, and if you did that, then you showed up for yourself more often than you did it. The way that you can get to this is asking yourself what thoughts you're having about the thing that you want to be doing, whether it is about cleaning out your closet or getting a workout routine started, whatever it might be that you want to have self-discipline over, limiting sugar, not eating dairy, whatever it might be that you want to have discipline over, starting to meditate. Think about the thing that you want to do, and then write down what thoughts are coming up for you. Okay. Because then that's really going to give you an idea of what's coming up. Why is it difficult? Are you having difficulty establishing this thing that you want to have discipline over? So I wrote one out here that you might do. Let's say that you need to clean out your closet. Okay. You're going to have thoughts about this, or you might have thoughts about this, like, I don't have time. I never get anything done. Those thoughts are going to lead to the feeling of being defeated. And your action is that you don't do it, you avoid it, right? And then you prove that you don't get anything done. That's your result. You prove the thoughts that you were having, right? So if you can really be honest with yourself and ask yourself what thoughts you're having about the thing and what feelings they're maybe leading to, then that's going to help you figure out what's going on. What really are the thoughts that are coming up for you, and feelings that they're leading to. And then you're just going to tell yourself that you're going to show up for yourself. I know that these thoughts are going to come up. That's okay. They're just thoughts. And I'm going to do it more often than I don't. Okay, that's self-discipline. And the last one we're going to talk about was how to recover from this question that came in was specifically after having dealt with a narcissist, but I think it could come up with anybody that you had a difficult relationship with, or just sort of that person that brought out the worst in you, or betrayed your trust, or just kind of all of those difficulties that you might have with another person, that this will help with. And so when I was talking with the person that had this question, it was like, really, it came down to trust, right? Can I trust that this won't happen again? And we can't put all of our trust in someone else, right? That it's not going to happen again, because it might. It absolutely could. You could be involved with another person that has similar traits and similar behaviors, right? The trust comes in with yourself. Trust that you know how to handle it. Trust that you already went through a similar experience and you came out on the other side. I'm not saying it wasn't painful or difficult to deal with, but you survived it, right? So that is building up that inventory of self-trust that you can get through hard things, right? So what you could do in this situation is make an inventory of difficult things that you've overcome in your life, difficult people that you've dealt with, and how you've come out on the other side and survived it and gotten through it. And a question you could ask yourself here is, how was this situation, or how was this person actually a gift? What lessons did they teach me? Right? What happened in these situations that I was able to add this to my self-trust inventory and build up the trust that I have in myself that I can handle anything that comes my way, or any person, any difficult person that comes my way. Okay? So ask yourself, how was this a gift? And see what comes up for you. All right, so I hope all of these helped you. As always, reach out. Let me know if any of these resonated with you. If you were the one that had shared these with me, let me know if I answered your question or gave you some good points to think about. So that's your mission for the week, is to just see what came up for you when I talked about these different scenarios. Did you relate to any of it? And did I help solve or help you be able to see it in a different way, in a different light, and give you some things to ponder. So let me know how this one was for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.